Hello, good evening. This is Carl Hinder, business coach with Salon Help, and this is Quick Coach TV. I run this every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Now, this is your chance to ask all the questions that you want to ask about things in our industry. Anything in the salon, spa, beauty, clinic sector, I'm here to help you answer your questions. Now, it's called Quick Coach TV because it's not slow coach. It's about answering your questions as quickly as possible. Now, we're not really going to give you much coaching. Hopefully, we're going to give you some answers, give you some direction, give you some inspiration, and hopefully help you, make some decisions in your business so that you can go off and take some action. Now, you can actually phone in. The number's up the top there, 07931 518 642 if you wish to phone in, or you can just leave a message in the comments below. So that's all you got to do to start with tonight. If someone gives me a thumbs up or a smile or something to say you can see me and you can hear me, and we will make a start. Let's have a look. What do we got? Okay, we're up and running. So we've got Cheryl Brown. Good evening, Cheryl. Thank you for joining me. Laura, Rosanna, Kerry Butler, Cheryl Brown. Good evening. Thank you. And Isabel. Great to have you on here straight away. Laura McKenzie. Hi, Laura. Thank you for joining me. Shoal Slayer, you're a very busy man, I know, especially with all these figures that you're working on. That's me. Good evening. That's great. And Rosanna. So we've all got thumbs up. We're all ready to go. Now, you know that you can ask any question that you want tonight. You can phone in. If you're a bit shy or you're kind of a bit busy as well, then don't be afraid to start putting messages up now. I'm going to be on you till 9:30 p.m. Please invite some people along, other salon owners, managers, anyone in our industry who's interested in some free coaching, some free advice to try and get them onto the right path. Can I ask you, you are on the Facebook page, can you follow me and make sure that so that it activates every week when I go live? So do you have any questions, guys? If you don't, what I'm going to talk about tonight is I'm going to talk about staffing, but I'm going to talk about it from a performance point of view. We're not going to talk about recruitment. That's a big issue in itself. And I don't want to use these sessions just to complain about things in our industry. I want to use them to make sure that you get a better opportunity to change things in your business. So let's talk about staffing tonight. Let's talk a little bit about marketing, because I think you guys haven't quite got your marketing right. I don't think you're marketing to the right people. And of course, we'll have a quick mention about retailing, because that is one of my most favorite subjects. So if you want to phone in tonight, it's 07931 518 642. Make sure you got a coffee, tea, glass of wine, whatever you drink, and let's get ready. Good evening, Donna Marie. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're well. Okay, so let's start with staffing. I've got some notes. So we got this team, you see, and all of you know by now that you should be targeting them with maybe 3.5, 4 times their wage. Anybody out there unsure about that? If you're not sure about what I'm talking about, maybe it's the first time you've listened to me. Maybe it's the first time you've actually heard these figures before. You can go onto my YouTube channel, my Carl Hinder Business Coaching, and there's a video there that tells you why you should be 3.5, 4 times each wage to enable you to actually make some money in your business, and why 1 times wage and 2 times wage is actually a loss for your business. So let's assume that you know that already, okay? Let's assume that you know that already, and you are now working towards all of your team hitting 3 and 4 times their wage. Now, that is easy to say, isn't it? It's not so easy to do. Now, anyone who knows me, anybody who's worked with me, the guys that were on the seminar last week, all know that I think that the most fundamental thing with your business, in our industry this is to get your price points correct. Now, we're not talking about pricing tonight as such, but the first thing is, if you ever want to achieve your goals, your financial goals, you've got to have your prices correct. And if you are one of those salons who actually took the competition as your guideline, let me give you some bad news. It's not great on a Wednesday night to have bad news, I know. But if you did use your competition as a guideline when you started your business, or you're still doing it, you have a 70% chance that you are actually at break even or making a loss. So if you're at the end of the month or even the end of the year and thinking there's not much money in this business, or even your accounts are showing a loss, you've got to start with your price points. And don't kid yourself. Don't start saying, I can't put those prices up, because A, you can, B, you can, and C, you have to. Okay. Who have we got? Any questions, guys? Come on, before we roll on here. I know you all like to warm up. This is going to be 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday this year. We might have to move it. I do say this every week once the clocks fall back, because we do have some friends in New Zealand, Australia, and they're struggling when the clocks fall back. So we might change a little bit, but I will check it out with you, and it'll still be around this time. So anyone else on the board at the moment? Okay, Donna, you got any questions? So let's talk about staffing. So we've already said that we've got the staff, we've got to make sure we're targeting them, and we've got to have the prices right. So go off now, guys, get your prices sorted out, make sure you've got targets for all of your staff. Now, let's say you're doing this. Okay, we've got some messages coming through. Let's say you are doing this. Let's say you are actually targeting your staff. Are you now having a weekly meeting with every single member of staff? Good evening, Mick. Thank you for joining me this evening. You're usually too busy for me, but so thanks for jumping on for a little while. Are you having weekly meetings with these team members? Because there's no point saying to them, look, your wage is £1,000 a week. I need you to take £3,000. And then at the end of the month saying, oh, you didn't do it. I'm not very happy, and start another month. If that's what you're doing, a 3 times, 4 times wage isn't going to get you anywhere. That's the only place it's going to get you is in the unhappy frame of mind that you don't want to be when you're running a business. You've got to make sure that you start to meet with these staff members every single week. Debbie Lane, any advice or guidance on monthly membership? Debbie, I'm not an expert on memberships. I have dealt with a number of salons on memberships. So let me tell you what I do know and the salons that I'm working with at the moment and how they are using them. If what kind of what do you want to look at? So let's say hairdressing. We'll just pick, say, a blow dry bar as an example. My advice would be that you need to make sure that the frequency that they're using it and the days that they're using it obviously equates similarly to the money that they're going to invest. So say something like a £99 a month investment for them, which is £1,200 a year, has to give you X amount of blow dries. Now, don't forget, this is guaranteed money. And the thing I love about memberships is that once you set this up, what you end up with, because they pay basically a month in advance, is you get this loyalty, if you like, but it's a financial loyalty. It's almost like a penalty that they want to keep coming because they're already paying in advance, unless they're that keen that they need to cancel their standing order or something. So I like memberships. It gives you really good cash flow. It allows you to plan what you're doing, but you have to make sure that if you're going to do something, let's say unlimited blow dries, that they're not in 4 times a day. Okay, so make sure your clauses say unlimited and maybe in brackets twice a week or something like that. Now, it has to be a great deal for them because you want them to actually use it. The second part with a membership that I think is fantastic, if they are going to really, really max it out, and that's cool, just design it properly, you have an opportunity to upsell them every single time because they're not going to be exchanging any money with you. So it's going to feel pretty cheap. It's going to feel kind of low cost for them. So make sure that if someone is doing this, I'm exaggerating, of course, we're not going to do any 4 blow dries a day, but let's say we are doing 2 blow dries a week or something, make sure that we are retailing them the right things for them to be able to enhance this blow dry or other things in their life. Make sure we're upselling them. Make sure that if they're coming in for a blow dry twice a week, that maybe they're having a, I don't know, a spray tan, maybe they have their nails done, maybe they're going for a massage. Okay, so memberships on the whole, absolutely a fantastic tool for your business. Just make sure that you calculate them correctly. Great value for the client, and make sure that you don't get overstretched by people trying to abuse the system. I haven't seen it abused. I don't think it's a big problem, but you need to do it like that. Especially if you're going to do a color club, that's all you got to do is put in there, you know, you pay £99 a month or £200 a month or whatever it is for your level of salon, and you just say this entitles you to 4 colors a year and 29 blow dries or something. Okay, so just work it out, plan it out, but it's a great way of having cash coming into your business on a constant basis that you can plan on almost. You can almost, as much as anything else, guarantee it. Debbie, is that enough information? If you want more information, please fire them up here, Debbie, or phone in 07931 518 642. I got a phone here. You can actually call in and speak to me. If not, fire the question up. Good evening, Nicola. Thanks for joining. And Laura, great to see you on here. So whilst I'm waiting for some questions or for you guys to phone, and let me just go back to that planning. I got to keep remembering where I am. So it's on a plan on the staff targeting. So where we were targeting staffing, we said we got to meet with them every week. Now, we just don't want to meet with them every week and talk to them about how you're doing with your sales or you hit your target, well done. You got to make sure that this is a constant cycle of monitoring their performance. And the things I want you to talk about during this one meeting every single week with every single member of staff is, first of all, sales, secondly, retail, third, blueprint, which is your customer service standards, and fourth, their personal development. Okay, those are the four things you need to talk about every single week. Okay, let's go on. Debbie Lane, great advice. Debbie, that's fine. I just wanted to keep it kind of simple for you. And I know that there's a lot of complicated memberships out there. I'm working with a salon at the moment that is pretty much trying to put a membership system together for everything, and we've been working on that for a number of weeks. So, Michael, good evening. Thank you for joining me. Torius Wales, thank you for getting on board. It's great to see you. Yes, and get some people across, Toria. That's great. Thank you. So, we're going to target these staff 3 times, 4 times their wage. Then we're going to give them a weekly target. Sorry, we've got a weekly target. Then we're going to have a weekly meeting with them, and we're going to take them through this process. It's absolutely, if you're not doing this and you're still wondering why you're not taking as much money as you want, I know the excuse you're going to be thinking. The excuse you probably want to use me is, Carl, I don't have time to see all my staff every week. Well, look, the system you're using at the moment isn't working for you. So why don't you try and change the system? You can't keep, there's this old saying, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. So if you continue with everything exactly the same, you're going to continue to underperform, and some of you are going to continue to fail. Okay, who we got? Rosanna, Zoe, thank you for coming across. Ellie McCann, thank you for joining me this evening, Ellie. Emma Louise Wood, great. And Jav, thank you for getting on board. Listen, guys, it's your chance. I'm here from 8:30 to 9:30 tonight. You can ask as many questions as you want. And like the others are doing, please invite people across. They are welcome. You are welcome here every single week, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. You can get your questions up. I'm only talking about staffing targets and performance and marketing. If you don't have anything to talk about, maybe you've got a coffee or a glass of wine and you're using me as the entertainment, well, that's okay as well. But in all seriousness, I'm here to help you. I'm giving you some free guidance, some free coaching, some free advice, maybe inspiring you or just maybe getting you to change something that you're doing or not doing. Thank you, Ellie. That's really kind. Okay, so you're meeting with these people every week. Now, the sales is very easy because you know that they're going to have 3 or 4 times their wage. You sit down, you're supposed to have taken £1,000. You took £800. Not too bad. So how are you going to get to that £1,000? What would you like me to do to get to that £1,000 with you? Agree the actions for the next 7 days. Off they go, working towards their £1,000. It's pretty easy, guys. Same with retailing. That's all you've got to do is you set a target, and the target is the same for everyone on retailing. It's for that salon, 30 or 40% of your clients should be buying. So if they have 10 clients, 4 of them should buy a product that day. Okay, in a week, if you've got 100 people, 40 of them should be going out with a product. That's easy. You sit down, or you don't sit down, actually, you stand up for your meetings the following week and you just say, okay, there's your service sales, now your retail sales, you did 27%. How do we get to 40? What are you struggling with? What are you going to do about it? How can I support you? You agree the actions, you move on to the next week. If you're not doing this, guys, who is managing these staff? You can't manage them by running past them in the staff room, okay, on a Saturday lunchtime, or waving goodbye at 6 o'clock on a Thursday night, or whatever you're doing. You've got to manage your people. That's your job. You may not have started off as your job, but it is now your job to manage your team. Okay, what we got here? Rosanna, do you recommend staggering their target when they first start? What I recommend is that they realize what their target is. Okay, so if it is going to be 4 times their wage and they take £250 a week, I think you should start off by saying, listen, we've got to get you to £1,000. Let's not, be unrealistic. Let's not beat around the bush. You've got to get from here to £1,000. However, you're currently at 2 times your wage or 1 times your wage. What I want to do is agree actions that progress you every week. So let's say they've just started with you, and after a couple of weeks, they're at 1.5 times their wage. I would be saying, look, I'm aiming for you to get to 2 times your wage in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Work towards that. So what I would say is, yes, I would stagger it. And once they kind of over double, I would give them a little reward. Maybe it's, I don't know, take them to the coffee shop, buy them a Costa coffee, or buy them a bottle of wine, or whatever it is appropriate for that person. Just say, thank you, well done, you're doing okay, keep it going. You know what I mean? We're not going to have a party just yet. But I wouldn't be over-tolerant. This staggering doesn't go, let's say they got to get to £1,000. It doesn't go £251, £252, £253. Okay, it's going to take 40 years. Okay, so yes, stagger it. Reward them along the way. Keep supporting them. The important part is that they are contributing to the progress. Rosanna, does that answer your question? If it doesn't, come back to me. Okay, Jav, great. Scott, it's great to see you on here. Don't use all your energy. I'm going to catch you a bit later. Michael, who is to blame if they are not busy? If they don't think their hairdressing is at fault? Well, Michael, if you want a broad answer, the answer to why they are not busy, it's your fault, Michael. Okay, because everything in your business is your fault. You know what I mean? If I don't know, if you're not taking enough sales on the whole, it's your fault, okay? If you can't retain staff, it's your fault. So I think it's really important on principle to start with that you realize, and I know you do, Michael, but that all salon owners say, whatever is wrong in this business is my fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not Brexit's fault. It's not the recession fault. It's no one's fault but mine, because I'm not taking appropriate actions. I'm not increasing my prices. My marketing isn't good enough to actually get enough people in here. My staff training isn't good enough to actually keep the people in here. My staff retention isn't good enough to keep my staff in here. And it's everything that I do. I don't sell enough products because I'm not dedicated to selling products myself. I'm not dedicated to training my team on product sales. Whatever it is, first of all, it is your fault. Okay, it's really important that we accept it. Okay. Secondly, in terms of generating more clients, it's both the responsibility of the owner and the member of staff. Now, the member of staff has to have a guideline, which means a set of rules, if you like, that they have to achieve or do for you every week. Let's say that to achieve this sale, to achieve the level of sales you want them to give out 10 introduce a friend cards every week. So your responsibility is to get the 10 introduce a friend cards, make sure that they have them, and then hold them accountable at these meetings and saying, I gave you 10, you handed out 10, well done, thank you. You had 10, you only handed out 5, what is the problem? And that then becomes their responsibility, okay? But you are the one who has to be responsible for pushing and encouraging and developing their performance. So overall, everything is your fault. But as long as you're supporting them, I believe that the stylist, the member of staff, as long as they're not self-employed workers, the member of staff is 50% responsible, if you want a percentage, for achieving the things, for achieving the goal. Okay? Okay, Lisa, what things can we discuss in a yearly appraisal? Okay, that's good, Lisa. So the things you want in a yearly appraisal. Let me tell you, first thing you don't want to talk about in a yearly appraisal. The first thing you don't want to talk about is things that are wrong that they have never heard about. It's not the time to start discussing, well, your body odor is really bad. And they say, well, you never said anything. Yeah, I don't like the way you smoke. Well, you never said anything. I don't like the way you do your colors. Well, you never said anything. Okay, this is not the time to get all your angst out, get it all on paper and be the recording of historical events. Okay. It's also not the best place to really go over history too much because it's gone. Okay, you can appraise the way they're doing things, but it should always be for things that they're aware of already. And if you're doing what I'm asking, okay, or directing, is they should be aware of all of these things every week. Basically, what I want you to do is have a mini appraisal every single week of the year. When you get to the appraisal, what you need to have is an appraisal document, a form that they fill out. So it could be things like uniform, it could be things like hygiene, it could be things like sales targets, it could be things like retail targets, it will be things like sales and retail and uniform. I don't know say where it could be. And you need them to appraise themselves. So instead of just saying your uniform's not very good, you can say, mark yourself out of 10 your uniform standard, if you like, or something like that, and they can say 6. And when you sit down for the appraisal, you can say, why did you give yourself a 6? Maybe you think it's a 10, and you can say, oh, I disagree with that. I think your uniform is absolutely immaculate. Well done. Or they might have given themselves a 10, and you say, why did you give yourselves a 10? And you can say, well, I have spoken to you 4 or 5 times about this. So at the moment, you're probably at about a 5 or a 6. What can we do to enhance that score? Now, the basis of the appraisal is to appraise what has happened, but the most important thing with appraisal is to set out the next 6 months or 12 months, or 12 months with a review, maybe every 3 months or every 6 months. Don't make it too hard for yourself. If you're meeting every single week, once a year appraisal is fine, as long as you're following up. Okay, so appraisal forms before the appraisal. Let them self-appraise themselves. Make sure that you're not going over things that they never heard about, and then make sure that all of the actions are for things that you are agreeing for the future. So you want to ask them what their aspirations are. What would you like to be? How much money would you like to be on? Let's say they're on £6 an hour now and they want to be on £12 an hour. Don't go, whoa, we can't be doing that. You've got to spend 10 years here before you're on. Say, no problem. You want to be on £12 an hour. I'm going to give you a list of actions that will get you to that stage. And that will also allow you, or if you like, allow them to not approach you throughout the year asking for pay rises. I hope that's some help. Lisa, if you've got someone in mind, like Carl, can we ask him about this in the appraisal? Write it up here and I'll say yes or no, or whatever you need to do. Okay, Isabel. I take on staff part-time and build them up. I hate setting people to, yeah, that's good. It takes time to work, and as they grow, increase hours seem to work. First gives them motivation to achieve. Isabel, if you can do that, and you clearly are doing that, that's absolutely fantastic. The only thing I would say is be cautious, not you, I'm talking to the board now. Be cautious about having lots of part-time staff, because sometimes, or more often than not, actually, these part-time people also have financial commitments. They also have children and cars and loans and houses and mortgages and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes if the build-up period is too long, we actually lost someone today from a colleague of mine messaged me to say, we got to let this person go because they can't achieve what they need to achieve in a very short time. So, and the person involved needs more money. So just be mindful of that. Isabel, I'm getting the impression that you are mindful of that and you're aware of all these things. But for everyone else on the board, part-time staff and building them up would be fabulous. But these people have financial commitments as well, and sometimes they can't hang around waiting for that to build up. So just be aware financially if you like. Nice one, Isabel. Rosanna, also if they need to sell a course of treatments, would you recommend that this is separate from their target until they have provided the service? No. No, I would say that if they've sold it, look, the point that they should have the money accredited to them is when you have the money. Okay, so if you've got a good software system, maybe something like Forest or something, it's quite easy to accredit that, you know, they're going to pay, I don't know, every month, and that person does their blow dry on that day, then it gets accredited. But I wouldn't give them I wouldn't necessarily, you know, if someone if someone sold a course of 6 skin treatments and it was £1,000, I wouldn't give them the, I wouldn't wait for them to come in. They've sold £1,000, accredit it to them if you've got the money. Okay, but if you haven't got the money, only accredit it once the money is in your bank or in your till, if that makes sense. Don't make it difficult to manage. At the end of the day, you can make adjustments. You can say to the team, look, if we sell a course of skin treatments, I'm going to give you the £1,000 credit now, and I'll give you the commissions on it and that sort of stuff. And if, you know, if it doesn't come in, if the woman changes her mind or the bloke changes his mind, then you're going to be in debt. Not in debt, but you're going to be debited. Okay, don't make it difficult for yourself to manage. I would try and do it as soon as you actually physically have the money in your system. Okay, Ren, how do you encourage younger staff to want to seek new clients? You do it with these meetings, Ren. You do it by sitting down with them every single week, because they got to have a financial target. You say to them, Here's your target. It's £200 this week. You're at £100 already. What are you going to do? Not me. What are you going to do to actually get to £100? Now, they may not have a clue. They'll be like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? And you'll say to them, right, I want you to learn how to rebook every single person in. And I want you to bring all their booking times forward by 1 week. And I want you to give out one of these cards to every person. I want you to make sure they're registered for our loyalty scheme. So whatever actions that they are meant to do is how you actually get them to develop their business. Now, if you were saying that you're doing all those things, you're meeting every week, you're giving them the direction, you're agreeing actions, some for you, some for them, and they're not doing it, then obviously at some weeks into the process, you've got to actually say, look, you're not progressing. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. At some point, you may not have employment with us. Okay, what we got here? Also, sorry, Rosanna. Okay, I also wanted to ask, when you're working out your break evens as advised in your video, I don't know if that's a question. You're asking me, how do you work it out? I also wanted to ask, when you're working out your break evens, can you clarify that, Rosanna? I'm not quite sure what the question is. Buland, thank you for joining me this evening. Good evening, Michael. You're back again. I agree with that to a point, but they didn't think they need more training. Well, it's not for them to decide whether they need more training or not. It's exactly what I was just explaining to the other lady. If at some point you're going through all these processes, you're agreeing actions, and you're saying, look, you need to get to £1,000 a week, how are you going to get there? And if they're saying, I don't need training, and you're saying, well, you've got to be trained on this and this and this, they either have to accept it so they get to where they want to be, or you have got to say, you're not the standard that I want. Here's your options. Here's more training. Can you do it? And if you won't do the training, then you don't have a place of employment. Okay, it's at some point we can't, we've got to stop the kisses and the cuddles, and we've got to move towards performance management. And sometimes that means that we have to change the staff. When you're working out your break even, total costs divided by hours, would you add VAT? So right, okay, so when you're trying to work out your break even, this is the figure. So you've got to take all your overhead. So this is everything from your tea bags right down to your electricity, your water, your color tubes, doesn't matter what it is, all your overheads, okay? This is your break even. And if you're VAT registered plus your VAT, whether it's at 13% or 20%, and don't forget that if you're at 13%, you're not really at 13%, you're nearer to 16%. So make sure that your added VAT is exactly the same. That's all you've got to do. This is just break even. Now, this has nothing to do with profit. You just take all your overheads, okay, including wages and including the money that you need to take home every week, £200 a week, £50 a week, whatever it is, £2,000 a week. And you divide that. So let's say you can get that for a year. You divide that by a year's hours. You divide that by 12. You divide that by the days you're open. You divide that by the hours you're open. You divide that by the minutes you're open. And that gives you how much money you've got to generate every minute. And then you multiply that by a service. So let's say a gent's cut is 30 minutes and you need to generate £1 an hour. Your cuts become £30 for 30 minutes. But that only makes you break even. You're not actually making any profit for anything else. You're never going to be doing any refurbishments. You can't replace any equipment. Okay, you're not going to have any extensions, and you're not going to be opening any more shops. Rosanna, that's the question. It's about adding everything up, dividing it by the hours that you're open. It is a slight adjustment if you got more staff. Okay, so if you want to ask about if I got loads and loads of staff, or if you want to message me separately, that's fine as well. But basically, it's the amount of hours in your business that divide into your overheads tells you how much you got to generate every hour. Divided by 60, how much every minute. Good evening, Adam. Thanks for joining me this evening. Jav, what can I do? My client won't only me to do treatments. And second, whenever I employ anyone, they are not sure working. Oh, not hardworking. Okay, Jav. So what you're saying is, I think, make sure I got this right, Jav. You're saying that you are the only one that your clients want. Okay, if you're saying that, this is what I suggest. If you're on your own, then you are the only person that's available. But if you're saying you've got other staff, then what you do is you make sure that you put your prices up so that your clients have an option to go to someone else. And you just keep putting them up until people start peeling away from you and going to the other staff. So don't go from, £20 to £90. You need to go from £20 to maybe £30, maybe, you know, £30 to £35, and find the point that clients don't want to pay for you anymore, but do want to pay for your staff. So that's how you get people off your case and onto their case. The other way you do it is not work. Don't actually put yourself into the system. Let's say you're doing 5 days a week and there's 3 of you in the salon. Don't book yourself in on Tuesday. You know, okay? Clear yourself off the screen. Tell all the staff, I'm not here on a Tuesday, and push the staff into them. You can get on with your marketing plan and talking to me. Okay, what else we got? Rosanna, okay, you're just joining that, Ren. Thank you. I hope I answered your question, Ren, Rosanna. Nina Turner, thank you for joining me, Nina. Thanks for getting on here. Rachel Thorburn, great to see you. And Rosanna again. Okay, thank you. I'm over answering your questions. Sometimes it's hard to see on screen what you really mean. I just want to make sure I give you the best possible advice that I can. What would you, sorry, hi Toria. What would be a tip for attracting new clients? We are on the ball with our social media, but it's getting clients from social media through the doors. We have a lot of people say they have followed us for a while, but they waited ages to book. How can we entice them in earlier? Okay, so I don't know what you're saying here. You're saying that you're on the ball with social media in terms of content, in terms of you have a lot of it, but the client isn't having a call to action. They're reading, but they're not coming in. So if I understand that, this is what I would say. So what you need to do, you need to find ways of getting your clients to come into your salon, and I would use the power of your social media to actually physically invite them along to events at your business. So let's say if they're following you, sometimes it takes around 7 hours of content before the client makes a decision on whether they're going to use you or not. It's the same with me. Some of the people on here today have been following me for months and years before they even come on here, before I get any credibility, and they think, Carl's a good bloke, let's go over there, let's watch him, let's interact with him. Okay, that's how it works with social media. The only way I can speed that up is like I did last Monday, is say, listen guys, we're having a seminar, we're having a workshop, come along, shake hands, drink beer, and actually connect that way. So what I would say is, if you have lots of social media connection and you think it's working, I would start getting physical activities in your business and inviting them in. The second part is go back to the social media. I think you need more call to action. I haven't seen your social media. You've given me 10 seconds. Are you just putting discounts on there? Are you just putting offers on there? What is it that you want them to do? Are you telling them, click this button and get, I don't know, a year's free massaging, or enter this competition and get free vouchers? So you have to give them call to action on social media if you want them to do something. So make sure that all your social media has a call to action, so they got to do something. If not, use that as a database, get them physically into you. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit. Please ask more questions. I really appreciate it. Jav, great. Jav, did I answer your second part of your question? See if I can find it. We are going through this so fast. Okay, you did ask me as well, Jav. Sorry. They're not hard working. I think you meant not hard working. So they're not hard working. Okay, there's lots of studies and stuff to say that some of the generations aren't hard working. They just see business different to the way we see it. Okay. But what you got to realize is that if something motivates absolutely everyone in this world, you've just got to find that thing that motivates them. Small children will pretty much do, I don't know, tidy their rooms if you give them some sweets. That's what they're motivated by, okay? So you've got to find a thing that motivates them. Maybe it's money, maybe it's more training, maybe it's a photo shoot, maybe it's wanting to be, I don't know, go to some awards, maybe it's entering competitions, maybe it's the biggest pay rate in the world. Whatever it is, you've got to find that thing that kind of switches them on. You've also got to have these weekly meetings so that they understand that hard work is not optional. And if they think it is optional, within probably 12 to 26 weeks, they aren't working with you. Okay, so let's go back down here. I've got so many messages. Thank you so much. Look, this is Quick Coach TV. It's every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. I promise you, if I miss any of your questions tonight, I apologize. But secondly, I work until midnight tonight. I'll get them all answered. But you can phone in as well. If you have a real priority and you think I'm going to miss you, you can phone in tonight. 07931 518 642. Okay, here we go. Thank you. That's my tip. There we go. Sean, thanks for all the help and advice, Carl. Our prices go up on Monday, and we have calculated it will give me the target profit I want. Sean, I am so proud of you. I hope I can just share a little bit about you, Sean. I won't say too much. Sean was one of our guests on our workshop last week. And I can't tell you, Sean, I can't tell him about what system we're using because it's not being launched yet. And I want to keep it, a surprise for everyone else. And the few people that were there have a privilege. But Sean and I have worked on a system that allows you to get your prices very, very, very near perfect with a bit of adjustment. And Sean's a very experienced salon owner, and he is going to change his prices to make sure that his profitability continues to grow. So I take that as a compliment, Sean, and I'm more than happy to help you at any time. Toria, lots of content and engagement. Okay, make sure then, Toria, that you got some call to action. If you want me, after this, I have actually got an important call. But if you want to send it over into my inbox, say, Carl, have a look at this. What do you think? I'll give you my honest opinion. No charges or anything. Take me 5 minutes, okay? Okay, Nina. Hello there. Oh, hi, Nina. Hello there. Good advice about tax, etc. This is how I work my own taxes out. Great advice from last week. Made lots more sales on products, etc. Thank you. Nina, I've got to, obviously, you're the first person to mention retailing tonight. Look, all of you, buy now, should know. Salon Products, Sell or Die Not Trying is the book that I've written in the last few months. It's written for salon owners. It's written for stylists. It's written for therapists. And it's not a book about selling per se. It's a book about changing your mindset away from selling is a bad thing to selling is an absolute essential thing. Okay? Nina, I'm so glad that you're making progress with all of these things. I try and make all my advice relevant, and it is based on an awful lot of experience and ongoing experience because I work with a lot of salons. So if you guys aren't retailing, the least you should do is get the book. It's not a bad time of the year to be getting a book to change your retailing. You're going to take a lot more money over the Christmas period if you are switched on to these kind of products. Any more questions, guys? It's 07931 518 642. You can phone in tonight. You can phone in every single Wednesday night if you want to talk to me about issues in our industry. I'm more than happy to answer anything. We were talking earlier about staffing. I think we've covered quite a lot of it. But the bit I want to cover, in case there aren't any more questions, there will be. I know there's always a rush towards the end. We've got over 20 minutes yet, guys. Now, this is Quick Coach TV, and I try and answer as quickly as I can. Most of you, a lot of you actually, have met me. You know that I don't speak this fast in real life, and neither could I continue to do it. But for tonight, you got 1 hour. I just want to make sure you guys are getting value. That book is a game changer. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. That's really, really kind. Everyone needs to look. Financially, of course, I'm a business coach. I'm here to help everyone make money, and that's why I'm a coach as well, to make money for myself and everyone else. From that point of view, that's awesome. But honestly, guys, this book, and there's an online course that will take you through 14 hours of learning. If you are not retailing, you're missing out on your customer service, and you're missing out on a small fortune of sales and profit. You shouldn't need to be told, but if you never knew how to put it right, now you know that you can put it right with a course and a book. Cheryl, that's a really big compliment. I really appreciate it. Sorry, guys. Now, let's go back to these staff and go back to, we're having these weekly meetings with them, and we're kind of talking figures, and they're all going, oh, I'm a bit mad. I don't know what's going on. You heard at one stage I talked about something called the blueprint. The blueprint is something that a salon must have. And I'm going to talk to, I might talk to you about this separately, not separately, on another week, because there's a whole subject in itself. But what I want you to do is think about this. If I'm a member of staff working for you, how do I know what my role is? Apart from cutting hair, why am I cutting this hair? I know you're going to pay me, but why am I cutting this hair? Why am I cutting it this way? Why do I make tea this way? Why do I wash towels this way? Why do I, everything I do, I need to have more understanding of why I'm doing it. Now, more salon owners, the good salon owners, will have a big picture. They will know this year I want to take 350, 400,000 pounds in sales. I want to have 6 salons. I want to be known as the best color merchant, in East Anglia. Whatever it is, the owner or the owners usually know the big picture. Okay. Now, it's okay to share that with your team. It's okay to say, we're going to be an award-winning salon. We're going to have a chain of 10. Whatever it is, your dream. I don't know your dream. It's your dream. So share it with them. Okay. Share it with them. I want to be this this person. I want to be this business. And I want you to be part of it. Then what you need to do is break that down backwards. For us to get there, guys, you 2 staff, you 3 staff, you 6 staff, you need to take these steps. Each month, you need to achieve this. Not financially, no. Maybe it's a physical action. You need to start doing colors in this system, in this way, for us to achieve that level of perfection. I want you to answer the phone using this system for us to elevate ourselves to this system. Okay, so this is a big subject. It's too big for Quick Coach TV. But what I'm saying is, don't make your staff haircutting or colorists or therapists or nail technicians, as in process managers. They're not there solely just to stick the varnish on or to do the massage. It's not a process. They're not robotic. They want to be emotionally engaged with your business. Now, you hear people calling it the story. That's what it is. They want to be part of the story. And if you're losing staff, part of the reason is because they're not part of it. They're not part of your business and your story. I'm going to move on. I got some questions. I'll come back to that if you want to. Jeff, thank you. That's a really big compliment. Jeff says, I'm amazing. I'm not taking a vote on it. But anyway, Michael, if as the salon owner, you are the biggest part of the takings, as most are, if you start removing your taking by doing more staffing issues and staff are very thin on the ground, and you start on this, right? Okay, Michael. So if you've got no staff at all, Michael, then of course all of the staff you already have, if you've got no staff at all, or the staff you already have are already fully booked, then of course it's going to be very difficult. I think are you talking about increasing prices for yourself or taking some time off to pass to them, or are you talking about performance management? Either way, it doesn't really matter. If you've got staff that are less than 100% booked, there is going to be an opportunity for you to increase your prices for them to get even more booked. That does exist in most cases. How much you can put the price up, I don't know. For you to take a day off, then the beauty of that is, if you think you can't get staff in, now you've got a day to resolve that problem. So the existing staff are busier. They're taking the similar amount of money, and you have now got time to work on your business and resolve the long-term issues. If you're talking about the performance side of things, taking time out to manage them and maybe sacking them, well, then that's not a problem either, because you're only going to be terminating the ones that are not making you money. So if someone leaves who's not making you money, then it doesn't matter, does it? Okay, so if someone's doing double their wage, if you watch my video, you'll see that double your wage means, because of pensions, national insurance, holidays, sick pay, all those sorts of things, if they double their wage only and they leave, you are no worse off when they leave. Bit more pressure for you, I know. You haven't got someone to answer the phone or help you wash hair, that sort of stuff. But financially, you're no worse off. So, Michael, I don't know if I answered 2 questions. I'm sure you're only asking one of them. Both of them is, yes, you can get more time off, because you get more time off, you will get to resolve things on a permanent basis. If you're worried about your staff leaving, then you're never, ever, ever going to progress your business. Both. Okay, well, I've done both. So that flicked up a bit later. I don't know if you know, guys, but we are actually on a bit of a time delay. There's a 30-second time delay on Facebook for security purposes. After the New Zealand issue, back last year, they actually put a 30-second delay. Just in case I say something that's absolutely awful, they've got time to cut me off. So when you put a message up, I don't see it straight away. It's about 30 seconds later. So it's not that I'm not watching. It's just a Facebook time delay. I can't do anything. Listen, guys, we've got 15 minutes. This is Quick Coach TV. It is every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. British summertime. My name's Carl Hinder, and I'm the business coach with Salon Help, and I'm here to help you, direct you, give you some inspiration, or just give you some answers. I'm on till midnight tonight, so if you've got a big issue and you're sitting at home, or you could be sitting still in the salon, I hope you're not, but if you're sitting at home and you're stressing about something, don't. Okay, I've got a client straight after this, but please leave me a message. We'll talk later tonight. We'll find some time to talk during the week or late evenings. Don't stress. Don't get worried. It's just business. It's usually a matter of just putting processes and structures in place to get you out of any problems you've got. Okay? All right. Any more questions, guys? We've got 15 minutes. If not, I'm going to go back to this. So we got these staff, okay? Michael, this might run back into you again. We've got these staff. We measure them every week. We're talking about the 4 things: sales and retail, your blueprint, and their personal development every week, every week, every week. I know it sounds terrible, but trust me, the benefits will come within weeks and weeks and weeks. No problem at all. They know their financial targets. They work into them all the time. But now you've got to work on something that's motivating. Now, I don't like that word motivating too much. I'm not quite sure that we need to motivate our team, because motivation can often be kind of shallow and weak. You know what I mean? It's a bit like going to see a power speaker. You know, I love to go and watch power speakers. You go to a big auditorium, you see some absolutely famous person on there for 3 or 4 hours. You're absolutely stuck to the screen, and then you go home and you're back to square one. So I'm not big on motivation in that sense, but we already spoke about motivation, that something motivates everyone. And one of the big faults, one of the big mistakes we make is when we do things like incentives, what we do is we give them incentives. Now, you can't give someone an incentive. You have to ask them what motivates them. What do they want as an incentive? For example, there's no point, for example, saying, I'm going to take you all on a skiing trip next weekend or after Christmas if you hit the Salon target, if they all hate the cold. There's no point saying, I'm going to take you on a champagne breakfast, down the Thames, if none of them like alcohol or they all get seasick. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm being a bit daft, I understand. But the point is, you've got to find out what is an incentive for them. What do they want? Maybe they want a weekend at a chateau. Maybe they just want to go to the local restaurant. Maybe they just want more cash. Maybe they want a pair of straighteners each. Maybe, I don't know, they want to go to the local comedy club. You find out the bit that makes them think, I'm going to deliver a better service, thus getting more money, because I really would like that incentive. Sometimes it can be training. Sometimes it can be a promise of things for the future. Some salons in the past, we've talked to them about having shares in the company. If we can get from 250 to 350,000, you guys could have shares in this company. Is that something that would incentivize you? And I've worked with some salons that it doesn't work at all, and I've worked with salons that they absolutely kick doors down. Okay, you've got to find out what is an incentive for them. Okay, what else we got? Michael, have you ever found staff just get bored of it every week? That's your fault as well, Michael. Why are they bored? I'm not bored. Have you ever seen me bored, Michael? You never see me on your board. You know, oh God, this is terrible. I'm on TV again. I'm chatting to the same people. You never get bored if you're working towards something that you love, that's something you want to do. Okay, so you've got to create something. Sometimes one in 100 people will be so, sometimes you can't win, Michael. Sometimes as a salon owner, a business owner, you have the wrong people, and maybe the people in the wrong vocation. Maybe they shouldn't be hairdressers or nail technicians. Maybe they should be car mechanics or school teachers or something, okay? So there is going to be an element of that. It's not all your fault that they're the wrong people, but if they are the right people, if your recruitment process is right in the first place, if they are bored, it's your fault. You've got to have a much more active salon, a much more fun environment. Fun that leads to more sales for you, not just messing around. Okay, what we got here? Laura McKenzie, what is percentage markup cost should you be doing on retail? Okay, so when you're choosing your retail, Laura, you must be looking for that. You're absolutely right. I would be looking for 40 to 50%, and that's almost a net profit. This is with a branded one. Let's say it's, I don't know, I better not say on here, well-known products that you can get from the wholesalers should be around 40 to 50%. Now, that is net, really, because there's not much else. Apart from delivery, there's not a lot of staff in terms of putting them on the shelves, and there's no staff cost really involved in selling them. So 40 to 50% is normal. When you go to your own brand, you need to go to probably 100%. Okay, you can at least easily double or triple the price on an own brand product, even quadruple the price, to be honest with you, on an own brand product if you get it right, if you get the quality of the own brand product. So 40 to 50% and maybe 100% or more on own brand products. I did listen to a salon the other day, didn't work with them, but I did listen to them very, very closely. They take retail products, let's say something like, okay, for the record, something like Keristas, and then they add money to the retail recommended price. So even though Keristas might say this shampoo is £20, they say, no, I'm selling it for £21.95. So it's even more expensive than they can buy it from other salons, than they can buy from the online or from a wholesaler or whatever it is they're getting it. Okay, and they use that extra money as a reward for their teams. All right, so it can be done, and this salon is very, 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 very successful when it comes to retailing. Okay, I was going to say I might keep myself a weekly talking. I might keep myself. I didn't understand that, Cheryl. Sorry. How would you find out what an incentive for? Well, ask them. Rosanna, just ask them. What would make you? Okay, you need to produce £1,000 a week. What would make you kick doors down to get it? Ask them. What do you want? What do you want from this business? What do you want from me? What do you want from life? Tell me what you want. Would you like to be part owner in this business? Would you like some shares in this company? Would you like to have twice the amount of holidays every year paid than you do now? What is it that you want? Do you want to work less hours and have more pay? What do you want? Because you could even do that. You could say, it doesn't matter if you kind of half their hours and double their pay. That's all you got to do is increase their target. As long as they get to the target of 3 times, 4 times their wage, it doesn't matter if that's what they want. Okay, so you've got to find the things. Ask them. Rosanna, it's just that simple. Just ask them. Cheryl Brown, I regularly have team meetings with myself. Oh, sorry. I apologize, Cheryl. Okay, keep myself a weekly talking to. I got it. Okay, so yes, give yourself a weekly talking to. Well, do you know what? That's a good point, Cheryl. I wouldn't say give yourself a weekly talking to, but I would find 2 things. First of all, I would find time for yourself to think business. Absolutely. Book out an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours where there's no, I don't even know if you've got children, so apologies, but no children, no partners, I don't know, no TV, no radio, nothing at all, no wine. Sit down, blank pen and paper, blank paper and a pen, and write down some of the thoughts, some of the things you want to achieve, things that you're going through. So yes, that is well worth doing. And secondly, don't waste time with someone from another company, another business. Go and find someone from the local, I don't know, the local garage, the local dentist, whatever. Wherever you can find someone who are in business, they might have the same issues, and talking through things with other professionals can be absolutely fantastic as well. Okay, guys, look, we have got 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'm happy to carry on to make sure all these questions are answered, but we are going to wrap up around 9:30 tonight. Okay, so let's see if we can get through these. Okay, what have we got here? Toria, we currently have a commission structure and service only. I want to look at reward retail sales, would motivate more sales. Now we have found a brand we love. What would be a suggested scheme for this? Okay, right. Toria, you haven't read my book. I can tell that, and you haven't been on my course. I can tell that. You wouldn't be asking me that question. The answer is no commission, guys, on products. That is a stupid thing to do. And I tell you why it's a stupid thing to do, because the reason for selling a product shouldn't be a financial incentive. The reason a client should go home with a product is because they need it, okay? The client needs a solution to their problem, and we should not be selling them things that they don't need. And I don't want to incentivize my team to sell the wrong things, okay? If you want to give an incentive, what I would do is I would make it a mechanical, a physical incentive, like we were talking about. I don't know, a night out, a weekend away in a posh hotel, a weekend on the golf range, that sort of stuff. And what I would do is I would divert off maybe 10 or 20%, depending on your product range, as they are selling it, divert it off straight into the social staffing motivational fund and use that money to develop that side of things. I would not be giving someone 10% of a product, which maybe, let's say it's an £8 product, you're going to get 80p. Nobody's having a party. Nobody's really happy about it. And unless the products are £60 or £70 and you're in a skincare process, you're not going to feel that rewarded. Okay. It's almost demotivating, and almost you're just throwing money away. So I would never, ever, ever have commission on retail sales. Okay, where are we? I think it's important we access ourselves like we would staff. It's our actions that affect the business the most. Absolutely, Cheryl. You've got to focus on yourselves as much as anything else. Sorry, that wasn't, I might give myself a weekly. Yeah, I know, I got it in the end. The other lady did. Lovely. Thank you, Nina. You need complete teamwork, incentive, reward, stylist, employee of the month. Communication is the key. Appraisal twice a year if need be. And if you've got empathy with your staff, great. and you've got to have empathy with your staff. Communication, taught you start a group, an individual, bring from a team. Well, I can't, Nina, what can I say? I think you kind of, I should read that out a bit more clearly, but the screen's not very clear from this distance. Yes, you've got to do all of the things. Look, read Nina's points. Can't disagree with any of them. It's a holistic thing, guys. The salon owner has to get, whether it's team targets, it's a team game. Yes, and you've got to have empathy with your team. That doesn't mean we've got to be sympathetic to every whinge and moan and sympathetic to failure, guys. It just means that you should all be working to the same stuff yourself, which is why I was talking about the big plan earlier, and for them to understand what their part is in it. And incentives are just your rewards, okay? They're just rewards as milestones for the progress that you are making. Ren, let's book on course. Let's book on a course. Oh, sorry, you're talking to someone else. There's an online course, Ren, which is what I'm talking about. Although if there's enough people, I'm happy to hold it in person. But it takes 14 hours online, and you don't want me in your salon for 14 hours talking through all this stuff. But it's a full day in a salon. But you got 14 hours online if you want to go through the retail course. If you want to start with a book, that's cool as well. But the online course will take you your mindset from not selling to all the reasons why you should be selling. It's been very, very successful with lots and lots of people on this board. Nina, I totally agree with you. Thanks, Nina. Cheryl Brown, assess ourselves. I got you. Yeah, of course, you've got to assess yourselves. You've got to have a good look at yourself all the time. You've got to be hypercritical of yourself. Sometimes you've got to kind of reward yourself as well. And I'm not talking about, going to get a new sports car, but I'm talking about emotionally rewarding yourself. Michael, Books Fab, thank you, Michael. Really good. And Cheryl Brown, assess again. Listen, guys, I've caught up a little bit. We have got 3 minutes. This is Quick Course TV. I will take another telephone. Well, I won't take another one. We haven't had one. But I'll take a phone call if you want to call in now in the next few minutes. If not, happy to take the last question or two before we sign off. Now, I'm going to be back here next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Please bring along more people. It's service. It's here for you. It's free. Why are you guys struggling? Why are your friends? Why are your colleagues? Why are other managers struggling to get the answers they need? You've got a business coach here. I'm vastly experienced. I can tell you what is the current advice for anything you want to do, okay? If it's private, I understand, and if it's a big, big question, let's take it off the board. But if it's private, then please just inbox me and say, Carl, I just need some help. I do have some free service, like I do a free video call like this, one-to-one, which is 15 minutes for the first time. So if you've got a problem that's private, just ask, can I get one of these calls, Carl? If you want longer sessions, we do them as well. If you want a retailing course, we've got that. If you want an in-salon course, we have that. If you want a book, you can get this one on Amazon, by the way. You can get it tonight. It'll probably be with you in a couple of days. Whatever it is you want, I'm here to help. Any more questions, guys? What have we got? Mark Burrows, thank you for joining me. Jazz, how much is the online course? The online course is currently £350, and it's 14 hours long. I think it's 35 to 37 modules, and it does get more. That license is for a year, so you can keep going back over the bits that you are not particularly happy on. If you've got a lot of stuff, that is a discount price, but it is 14 hours long, and it's mobile, so you can do it on the reception desk, you can do it at home, you can do it in the staff room. Okay, if you want the link, I'll put it at the end of this. How do I stop my staff at 2 salons acting like rivals instead of a team? I'm concerned clients are aware, and it's making it hard to build clientele at the newest salon. Okay, so I mean, the key thing there is it depends why are they competitive. If you've got financial targets for both those salons, they're going to feel like that. One of the things you can do, of course, is to have social events that gather them both together. You could have a group target, so both salons have to achieve. And also you could, but it's not always easy, try and move some staff around so they're not too stagnated. Now, it depends how close they are or far apart they are, and some of your regulars won't like that process. But that's a good question. I had 4 salons. We had exactly the same. But it's all about getting them to realize what the big picture is and them to realize what part they play in that big picture. Maybe you haven't painted the picture big enough for them yet, and maybe they don't realize that they're not actually doing a haircut. They're actually delivering something that you need them to deliver on the way to this, on the way to this journey. And maybe also just try and get across the message that both salons need to succeed. One succeeding on its own isn't going to be very good for business. Okay, Michael, book looks bigger on screen. Yes, because I'm getting it closer every week, Michael. It's a small book, guys. It's got big writing. It's got blank pages for you to write notes. It's the most simplest product selling book you will ever come across. It talks to you as a hairdresser and as a manager and as a salon owner. It's simple, it's straightforward. Okay, guys, listen, it's gone 9:30. If any more questions crop up here in the next 30 seconds, I will answer them after tonight. Please come back 8:30 p.m. next Wednesday night. Don't wait till then if you're struggling or stressing over anything. Please bring some friends with you, and I'll see you back on this page next Wednesday night, yes, at 8:30 p.m. Now, next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, I'm going to be releasing some new information. We're going to be talking about releasing some information for charities as well. So maybe you'll be interested in that. I'm going to be talking about giving away free coaching and free coaching for retailing for one or two specific salons, but it's all going to be tied in to charity. Meanwhile, I suggest if you want to retail, you get the online course or the book. They're both very, very similar. The course is based on the book, but the course is designed to train you. The book is designed to move your mindset. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Honestly, it's fabulous to see you all on here, and I'll catch you again next Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. back on this channel. Take care, guys. Good night.